Hey guys, it's your boy Nami Rubber Bands with another video, aka part two of What If on Chainsaw Man. um, so you want anything to say?
Hey, follow me on fanfic.net as the Pervy Paradox.
You heard the man. So I know we left y'all guys on a cliffhanger, but it's for good reason. We was cooking up some ideas. So, no further ado, let's get into it. Alright.
Alright, so we cut to right where happens in the last time. What happened last time? Then what the fuck you doing? Get up off your ass and click that like button already. God damn it. You would know. Go away. So, cut to the next day. It's early in the morning as we're getting prepared to continue on the tracks for this beast that we're actively searching for. The only thing we know is that, well, it is a creature, and it does kill people, and whoever it doesn't kill turns into flesh-eating monsters that tries to kill you. So yeah, that's all we know. And very ambiguous tracks that could honestly be led to any animal in the forest, but hey, that's all we got so far. So, we're getting our shit together for actually heading out there, as the chief tells us to watch out for, I guess, certain patterns that he himself has seen within his own men being slaughtered. One, if you smell a higher concentrated amount of decayed flesh, that means it's really, really close. Also, if you hear a shrieking type noise, prepare yourself because it's about to run full speed at you. And so, yeah, and also, it likes to eat human meat, so keep in mind, so you don't be chewing on your freaking neck meat like a tender rib steak. So yeah, that's what thanks. So, we tie our stuff together as we're heading out. Well is looking up from the sky to give it a height advantage over the room, and you stay mainly in the trees while I'm kind of monitoring the ground as a passive gear.
Oh. Man, this thing could be anywhere. Why does it have to be the forest? Shit. As Yatu look at me and say, don't be impatient. You might wish for something that you don't want. I'm like, nah. I've been holding back this thirst for battle for too long. I need to kill something. They're like, dude, calm down. Sorry. That's my wolf side. Sorry. Anyway, we got some pretty good distance and coverage. Surprised we haven't seen anything yet. This thing is very smart, says Noah. It's been doing this for quite a long time. I estimate probably like 50 something years about it. If it's a new devil, you wouldn't know the layout was like that. It's like, you know what, you're kind of right. Makes a lot of sense. This might sound crazy, but do you think anybody in the village has something to do with this? As y'all both look at me, it's like, you can't really rule that thought out. But I think if that was the case, I would have got caught by it. You know what I'm saying? It'd just be too obvious at that point. Yeah, it was just an idea. But yeah, let's cover more ground as I pass it back to you.
Alrighty, so on my right then, while you do that, I'll take a look up in the trees to see if there's anything unusual. So, we're looking around as Noelle, she's seeing there's a whole zooming like farther out than usual. And one of the things that she did notice was a bunch of crows flying around in one specific area. Kind of separately to how a vulture, how you would see vultures swarming or something. And she kind of shouts out at guys, I think we got another one. So you and me quickly, like, you know, dash over towards her area. And, yeah, we see it. Body has been fully drank clean of blood. Really, it looks like a hollow exoskeleton where the skin just laying there on the ground. Like, the body is completely deflated. Bones probably smashed all the way in. It's essentially just like a giant stamp in one clean hit. But it seems like it managed to, like, run. So when you ran, it kind of, like, cut
It's
him halfway in half.
Man, this poor guy. Ugh.
As we're just examining more of the body. Cuts around the
It's
hands, cuts
Cosfinger,
around
baby.
the thighs. Blue markings around the neck. Clearly, this thing was struggling to keep it surviving. So, seems like in retaliation, it bit right through its neck. I'm like, is this anything new to you since you've been at this for longer than we have? Is this anything familiar, or is this a new type of kill?
This is just great mutilation. There's no reason for anybody's body to be labeled like this. This is bad. Man, this thing must be stopped right now. Sure, I might be a devil. At least have some type of sympathy. As y'all looked at me like, huh, that's strange, you know? It's like, listen, I've been around the universe for quite a long time. You start to pick up certain traits from me. That's like guard off. But I yell out to y'all, we are getting closer now. I can feel it. So that's it to you.
Yeah, either that or the smell is just getting even more rancid than usual. Which is definitely a sign that the old man talked about. I'm like, that's weird about the old man. Despite him being older than the rest of them,
Hold on.
he's definitely more. Alrighty, so we're walking in the forest as something definitely kinda tripped my interest when we were back at the camp. As I essentially asked him, have y'all noticed anything, I guess, strange about those, like, what do you mean? Well, what I mean is the fact that, well, he's the most healthiest looking one out of all of them. And he should, since he is older, you would think he'll probably have the most effects, since, you know, age and stress isn't really a good combination. But yet, he still looks better than some people I know in their 20s. He seems a bit too fine about it. But hey, this could be just due to him doing this for a long ass time, so he's naturally going to be less stressed about certain things, and that's definitely a reason. But another thing that is weird that I noticed is that, well, he had bandagings on his left arm, and also, I guess, scratch marks across his right cheek. So that makes me wonder.
Cosfinger, baby.
One, did he get attacked by this creature? And if he did, how did he survive? Because for what we know so far, that thing will either mangle you, kill you, or if you somehow survive the encounter, you will turn into a flesh-eating monster. So, if he did get attacked, because, you know, I'm just under the assumption it's probably just, you know, wild animal scars, but if that is from that beast, then he should bare bones be unhinged to the very least, if he's able to control himself up to this point. But hey, that's probably just a speculation on my end. But hey, that's something we definitely have to talk about once we head back. So they all kind of like nod their heads as, you know, that is really good observation for someone who seems like, you know, hasn't really been focusing that much about it this entire time till now. I'm like, hey, I focus when I deem it necessary, not all the time. But hey, it's just like one of those moments where I'm smelling something foul, something unclean. I don't know what this is, but it's definitely different from animal dragons, that's for sure. As you just dash off into the distance, it's like, hold on, wait, as I pass it back to
you. I'm on your trail now. As I start blitzing towards that direction, without disregard for anything that's up ahead. As I slowly shift into my werewolf hybrid form. As when I get there, I see something that is quite shocking. I see a man eating the intestines of a wild animal that was there. As I'm like, the fact that you killed that leopard, you're not an ordinary human, aren't you? Who are you? Says the individual that's in front of me. You poor soul. I'm here to take you out your misery. As y'all just hear trees getting shattered, destroyed, eviscerated, and being thrown around. As you're like, what the hell is all that noise up ahead? As you know, you get there and you see me going absolutely crazy on this individual. As to give you an example, I had thrown him up in the air, and as he was in the air, I sliced his stomach right open with my claws, blood everywhere. As Noelle's like, that's quite the sight to see. And you look at her like, yeah, you're not wrong about that. As I pass it back to you.
As I'm like, really? That's a sight for you to see? You literally roundhouse kick a dude to the wall so hard he broke his neck on impact. Just like, hey, that's because he tried to attack me. Anyway, let's deal with this issue before it becomes an even bigger one. As I'm just looking, and it's like massive. Like, I thought you was tall enough. This thing's massive. I guess the best way of putting comparison, you're like a German Shepherd, and this thing is like a Great Dane in terms of height comparisons. Like, this thing is big, tall. So this thing is kind of in its semi-state where it looks both human and kind of gross looking. And so when us looking at it, it looks very unhuman-like. Like the way how it moves, its elongated limbs, its outstretched, unnatural proportioned body. A very malnourished looking body, despite the fact it's been eating humans for weeks on end, or months on end, or even years on end up to this point. We can't know.
I can't contain this insatiable appetite for flesh. I can't stop. I'm gonna consume it. Y'all three will be my next victim. That's back to you.
Interesting. Alright then. But before we do anything, as I'm like, I want to know who you are first. Like, what are you? What do you want? Like, what is your reasoning for doing this? As it's not trying to hear any type of questions that I'm trying to genuinely ask, as it immediately tries to rush at me, trying to punch at me, which I just quickly just punch it in the face. Which, when I punch it in the face, it didn't budge at all. As it's kind of like one of those anime scenes where someone punches someone in the face, but their face is kind of resistant against your fist. So it tries to claw at me, but I end up jumping back. As I'm like, alrighty then. That thing is let you take a crack at it. As you just get even bigger somehow. As you're like, alrighty then. Beast to beast. Just how I like it. It's about to be a bloodbath. And every person who has died here, you'll be accounted for every one of their grave marks. As you just rush at them, as I'll pass to you.
As I run into a blitz, as I headbutt him straight in his chest, sending him back a bit. You intimidate me. As I go straight for the gut, as my razor sharp claws pierces his chest. I start ripping out organs out of his chest. As this thing is just eating the barrage of just devastating blows that I'm throwing at it. I'm like, how is this thing still alive? I just ripped out his intestines. As Noelle's like, watch out. as it slashes at one of my arms, damn near taking it off my bones. Oh, you crazy son of a bitch, that hurt. As I slowly regenerate, which shocks you in the well. You can regenerate? It's kind of crazy. We talk about it after this. Be focused. Don't let your guard down around this thing. It's extremely strong. This thing, it consumed a lot of souls and people. Essentially, this area's empowering it. Just be on your guard, because it could be a many amount of these unhinged people around here. As you know, as soon as I say that, it starts to like howl like in a gruesome way, calling more unhinged people to come out. As you look at it, he's like, oh my god, at least has to be 100 of them. You damn freak, you know, as I pass it back to you.
And so I'm saying, well, me and Newell are saying how many, I guess, the people he once mangled are now up, moving. Kind of like, just moving like God without a limit. Just moving like a lifeless vessel, kind of just moving for the sake of movement, waiting for a command or something, because they all just kind of like stopped all in a single file line. And what made these things even scarier is that they were all packing heat. Not that way. This ain't that kind of video. But they got literally guns, like guns on them. I'm talking Uzis, AKs, Dracos, any assault rifle, any mag that come in your mind. But besides those, which like I said, it ain't that kind of video. But anyway, they all packing some heavy firepower on them. So Newell, she's like, wait, what are we going to do? And so these things immediately start opening fire as shove Newell away as I'm bullet after bullet after bullet of these things until they all just essentially blow their load on me. So I'm on the ground literally shredded, because of course I would be. And so they're all like, what the fuck? As they're just staring at my literally mangled up bodies. I just hit the floor, just blood oozing everywhere. As, you know, both you and Newell get mad at us, because, you know, I just kind of like, you just like, you piece of shit. That one was one too far. This time I will really kill you. As just both you and Newell start going even crazier as the hordes of these things are like heading towards me. As I'll pass it back to you.
As you see me ripping heads off, like it's a freaking a Day by Daylight freaking trailer. It's just absolute carnage. As I'm slicing through bodies, as Newell, aka no pun intended, was dumping her guns on them, her wand gun, going crazy. As I'm like, I don't know if he's gonna make it. He got hit with ARs and Dracos. How the hell these things get guns in a remote area like this? It doesn't make any sense. As Newell's like, I don't know. Only have one theory. He might be working with that devil. Please, I hope that's not the case. Newell, you think you hold the army off while I go to him for a bit? She's like, make it quick. As she hops on a magical broom and start casting spells on the people below. As I blitz over where you're at. It's like, don't die on me, man. As I cut my skin with my nail. As this might sound gross, but keep in mind, dark atmosphere. As I cut my vein, as I put my blood to his mouth and like drip it to his mouth so he can drink the blood. As you're drinking the blood, I'm like, yeah, this should work. It should be fixed up right away. As you know, you about to like fade out of consciousness. So I'm like, no, don't die on me, man. I need your help. I can't kill this thing by myself. Me and the Will can't do it. We need you. As the monster's like, you as good as dead. That's gonna taste really good. That's gonna make me one step stronger. So maybe I can take over and kill that one devil. Always had a grudge against him. I'm like, shut your mungle face up, you bastard. As you're drinking the blood, right? As I'll pass it back to you.
Alright, so what is surprising you is that, my body's like actively devil. Because, well, it's not incompatible with me. So, with that, we cut to me in my mental psyche state as I'm just currently on the ground, as my devil who was talking to me is kind of just like, I was wondering when you gonna call on me. I'm like, shut up and just help me out already. And she's like, alright, fine. How many do you need unlocked already? Just unlock level 1 for right now. This guy seems strong, but he seems very weak with all his numbers. So that's all I need right now. Just give me a number 1 for right now. And she's like, alright then. As she snaps her fingers. As we cut back to real time, as all the blood essentially been just out of my body starts getting reabsorbed into my body. As my body essentially starts forming into like this blood tornado, as my body's essentially being reformed by my already ripped out blood on the ground. So I start like twitching and stuff, like moving. As I'm like, nice trick. But next time, if you're gonna kill me, do it properly next time. As I just dash up to the Wendigo guy and like punch him in the face. And he's like, what the fuck? Why did that hurt way more than usual? As he's struggling to talk because I almost broke his jaw in one punch. I'm like, come on now. Don't tell me after one punch you're already tapping out. Is there any way to treat the ladies as to a tree, breaking the whole entire tree in half? And she's like, what the fuck? What is going on? As he tries to like send his army of swarms at me, but I just do kind of cut my finger a bit as it forms, and the little blood drop forms into a whole bunch of like blood daggers as they just start shooting towards the hordes, kind of just railing them. And I'm like, that's for killing me. Now, like I said, all I wanted was questions and answers, and you immediately chose violence. So, let's try this again. As my eyes just go bloodshot red, as I'm looking this beast dead in his eye. As I said, I asked you again, who are you? As this thing is now just feeling a presence dominating over him, essentially. Like he feels inferior at the moment. So, we already know when devils feel inferior, they naturally by default get weaker. So, it essentially starts explaining to me what it is. It's essentially a Wendigo that made contracts with a chief of this region. Essentially use me as fear tactics to essentially scare his residents to not leave in his camp, and essentially give injuries that made it seem like the medicine he was performing was legitimate. That's why all this trinkets and stuff is here. To essentially tell him where to kill the people he intentionally places there. And so, both you and Noel are shocked. One had to say, as I'm like, alrighty then. That's all we needed from you. Now, it's time to die. And she's like, wait, what? And just in one motion, I just viciously rip his head off his body, killing it on the spot. As I'm looking at the head, I'm like, Noel, you deal with this. You're a witch. You know how to keep this thing dead properly. We already know, just killing a devil won't kill it. You need to do something else to it. So I'll let you deal with that. While me and Kyoya will deal with the chief. As both you and me are kind of walking towards the area of the campus, as I'll pass it back to you.
I'm really gonna gnaw his bones. Piece of shit. As you start to see clouds start to form, it starts getting dark. Rainfall is happening. As the fire lamps that was around the village seem to go out. As you see two menacing figures walking back towards the village. One that he looks like he's a human, but he has a very feral face, man. The other one seems like he's chill and relaxed, but you can tell there's a raging storm in him. As we walk to the main chief hut. As we don't, open the door politely. We kick that shit open. Now, Chief, you know what you've been up to. As he makes a what face? As he's like, well, it took you this long just to find out, huh? Yeah, I did what I did. I have no regrets about it. When you want dominance, do it through fear. I had this area to myself for the last 50 generations. Well, 50 years, okay. But I didn't want my
generation years reckless thinking.
Yeah. I didn't want my reign to end. I wanted to be top dog. I'm like, oh, you want to be alpha, huh? Well, let me show you what true alpha is. As you see me morph, triple my height and size. As you notice that when you darken the whole room, it kind of made me physically more stronger. Like my body start to get more, buff in the darkness. That's why, as I say, you know why they call me Fear at night? 'Cause I am the shadow. As I tear off one of his arms, as he screams in a horror. As you say, nobody's gonna hear you, Death. I make sure as I pass it back to you.
Alright, so this thing is like looking at us, right? As you're thinking, oh, this is a human, this finna be easy, right? And then when you rip out his arm, bro, this man is on some freaking Suryu Akami got killed type shit. Where this dude literally had weapons hidden in his skin. When you rip off his arm, he had a little like switchblade like type dagger in his arm, kind of similar to the witchblade type dagger arm thing that she exposes out through her forearm. Remember that? As essentially just a massive glaive on his arm, and she's kind of like swinging it around like a madman, laughing maniacally, because at this point he has nothing else to lose. Well, besides his life, but he has nothing else left to lose. And we all know a man is at his most dangerous when he has nothing left to lose. He's free. He's not held back by anything. He's free to go as wild as humanly possible. But there's a difference between man and beast, as we're going to figure out right now. As I'll pass it back to
you. You really think that puny blade is going to do anything to me? As I grab it and shatter it. As he goes completely demoralized. Oh, you scared now? You really thought you was eating? You ain't ate shit. As I punch him right in his chest, send him flying against the hut. The hut is barely keeping itself up at this point. As I ask you, what is the most gruesome and painful way he should die? You have any suggestions?
I guess we'll have Noel burn him at the stake.
Ooh, that's a good one. It's kind of more peaceful than what I had from him. I was gonna slowly rip him from his spine.
That's true, but too much blood loss will make him die quicker.
You're right. As I grab him by his leg, as I pick him up in the oh shit, hold on. And I'm in the air, right? And I slam him like Broly did to Goku. Just slam him dead hard on the ground, knocking him out. And as I drag him out so everybody can see what a disgrace he is, as Noelle finally comes back, she's like, huh, let me guess, burn him at the stake, right? As, how do you know? You know? She's like, well, I figured that much, he deserves it. As me and you kind of look at each other like, damn, we thought we was done. As I throw him towards Noelle, as Noelle uses her magic to pick him up, and she starts to form like a place to, you know, have a live audience, so they can see how cruel their leader truly was. As I pass it back to you.
Alrighty, so it's kind of set up kind of similar to a European witch trial that would happen during that point in history, you know, where this dude is essentially in shackles, walking path of shame down the block before he meets the gallows. As right behind him is like, they have me kind of naming all the transgressions he has done towards not only the people, but to everyone else around him. One thing: first degree murder, assisted murder, as the list kind of gets more and more detailed as the list keeps going on. As one of the final things is that destroying civilizations out of power, and all the things that when I tell him that all the stuff that he's done to the people indirectly forced them to eat human meat for the past 500 years. Now, they didn't know it was human meat, but now today they do. Because why is it human meat? Because the same people that the Wendigo kills, the chief used as food for his people. So not only did their fallen brethren who were dead, they were eating their fellow members as well. Now, of course, they didn't know this, so no fault on the people who literally don't have any kind of knowledge of this, but essentially shame on him. So when people hearing just all the heinous stuff that he's been doing, and all the essentially just changing their whole perspective on this guy, because they thought he was the most genuinely wholesome, compassionate, good ruler, but he's literally the exact opposite. He's corrupted, he's dirty, he's a liar, he's anything that a ruler you probably wouldn't want as a ruler. All these negative traits. So, and on top of that, we ask him, do you have any remorse at all for all the lives you have taken or assisted in? As he says, no. So, Noelle ties him up with some gasoline, and with her witchcraft power, she essentially lights him on fire. You know, some people mixed bag about it, because sure, while some like him and now hear how big of a douche he was or how evil he was, that's not going to be an immediate switch. While for some, there were cheers of praise, while some were in awe, some were just horrified because, you know, they never seen someone get burnt alive before. But on top of that, it's just interestingly entirely a weird thing for them to feel. So, a person who was in line for succession was, well, this guy's son. And the thing about this guy's son is that, well, he is the complete opposite to his father in practically every conventional way. He's actually nice. He's a good man. He's helpful. He's resourceful. He's all these traits you will probably want your leader to be. So it probably doesn't take them that long to realize that the next line of succession, well, sure, this guy is corrupt, but he is still a good man. Just because his family is corrupt doesn't necessarily mean the next generation has to be corrupt. So this guy essentially makes it his life mission to be absolutely nothing like how his father was. Let his compassion and niceness be genuine instead of fake, just to please a few people. And so with that on, the people are, waving us goodbye and stuff, as they gave us a good amount of money, because, they just took all the money, the freaking guy and stole it from them and used it in a terrible way. Of course, we were kind of saying no, but they just wanted us to have it anyway. So we're heading off, as everyone, we're waving bye to everyone else. They're saying thank you and everything. As we're heading out of Forest and on back to the rural agency. As I pass it back.
Guys, I'm gonna be leaving it off right there. So tell us how you feel about the conclusion. Peace, y'all.